Did you know that Arnold Schwarzenegger is currently in a TV series? I did not hear anything about it background wise. I just happened to come across it while perusing Netflix, and there he was. Actually, I didn't even realize it was his show. The title, FUBAR, looked intriguing. The description of it looked good, and suddenly I realized it's Arnold. Arnold Schwarzenegger is obviously the star of this. He plays a character called Luke Brunner. It also stars Monica Barbaro, who plays Emma, his daughter. Milan Carter, who essentially plays one of Arnold's team members. Gabriel Luna is the bad guy. Fortune Feimster plays another team member. Travis Von Winkle, another team member. And Fabiana Undinho plays Tallulah Tally, his ex-wife. You might remember her better as a lot of vagina from the Austin Powers movies. This is a show that's mostly good. It has a little bit of issues, but they're fairly easily surmountable depending on how you are walking into this. So the general background is Luke is a CIA agent who's just finished his last job for the CIA and is retiring, retirement party and all. And what happens is a leftover from one of his most important cases comes to light, and he agrees to help clean up this one last problem. He's divorced, and his family life is strained because he spent his whole life at work. His family believes he runs a gym, so his whole secret agent background is unknown to them. He thinks he can mend all the broken fences, but the damage is pretty deep. Uh, it reminds me a lot of the movie True Lies. It has the same kind of vibe. There's this distinctly 90s feel to the show, and it's not for the most part an artifact of our current era at all. The season has a major story arc. Each episode is mostly standalone, where Arnold and his team attempts to overcome one portion of the overall problem. Sometimes successfully, sometimes they fail. There's a decent amount of action, there's intrigue, and there are plot twists. This happens at a 90s pace, not at a current day attention deficit disorder pace that many modern shows take. If you need your screens to change at the pace of a strobe light, you may find this show a little bit too clunky for you. The budget of the show is neither super high or super low. The effects won't always wow you, but things are happening to prevent you from being pulled out of the moment. The dialogue takes a little bit to get used to. When Arnie is in family man mode, he's using his super friendly smiley persona, which he's often used in past movies when he was trying to fake being congenial. And this might be on purpose. It's possible the character has spent so little time with his family that he has to fake the interaction. Banter between the team members is a bit awkward at first, but if you realize they're talking more like people in a 90s office than they are trying to talk the dialogue of written 2023 TV entertainment, it grows on you and you learn to like it. The biggest issue is the father daughter dynamic. I've heard a lot of complaints about it from other people reviewing this. It can be annoying, but realistically, he and the daughter should not be able to fix their relationship after an episode or two because they've literally had decades of poor interaction to overcome. I find it annoying, yet at the same time realistic. The team takes a little bit to grow on you as well. They are annoying at first until you learn their dynamic. Because it's a TV show, you will eventually get to learn all their backstories. Arnie's age is a little bit of an issue. He's just a little bit too old for this part, I mean, he's in his mid 70s and he's portraying somebody in his mid 60s. I mean, this part's not jarring, but every once in a while you notice it. He's definitely too old for his ex-wife in the show, who's definitely 20 years younger than him. You'll eventually learn to look past it, but every once in a while, they wisely bring up that there are certain action things he can't do due to the character's age. And for the most part, you don't have to completely suspend disbelief to believe Arnie is doing the action scenes. I mean, he's still in pretty decent shape. Interestingly, they don't ignore his accent, as they always seem to do in every other TV show and movie. They actually make his accent part of his character background. Uh, Modern day politics are pretty much non existent in this, except for to make a few okay boomer jokes where Arnold is not understanding current culture. But it's not the garbage we're normally being fed. The diversity checklist appears to be being filled out, but they actually do a good job writing the characters who happen to be black, lesbian, etc., rather than the characters who would normally be just their checkbox identity. So they're actually interesting three-dimension people. Give it 2 episodes. You should have a good feel for it at that point. The characters are good and have depth. You quickly care what's happening to them. It's a good blend of Arnie one-liners and action merged with character growth, which is something you can't do in a movie, but something you can very well do in a show. If you miss Arnold Schwarzenegger's contribution to the action spy genre, you will probably like this. If you're thinking, why would someone make an Arnie TV show? Then you probably won't like this. It's not Shakespeare, but then again, Shakespeare wasn't either. The season ends on a massive plot pivot, which will completely upend the entire dynamic of things. So this is going to give an opportunity for the writers to either really sink or swim. They're either going to they're basically being pushed out of the initial box, which is going to show all their weaknesses and strengths. So I'm very intrigued to see what they do with it. It has been picked up for a second season. All right. Down in the comments below, have you seen FUBAR? If you're going to make a comment that's spoiler in nature, please warn people before that, just in case they're hoping to come into this completely fresh. I did ignore several very major items that are brought up quick, just to give the opportunity for people to be surprised but by some dynamics that may not be obvious. Please smash the like button. If the YouTube algorithm brought you here and you're not a normal viewer, check out my other titles. I'm into a lot of different things in terms of videos. And if you think somebody might find this interesting, please share it with them. Thank you for spending time with me this evening. Check out FUBAR. Hope to see you again in a future video.